It's the gang, we done came on. The gang.
Welcome back to another episode of Toxiris Thoughts. Today we got my first review, reaction, whatever you want to call it, to King Von's new posthumous album, What It Means to Be King. First of all, this is King Von's first posthumous album. It has 19 songs, 48 minutes long, and a bunch of features. But what do I think about it? Now I'm going to try to keep it short, because this album is pretty long, and in case of it does have a lot of songs. And I gotta say, for a posthumous album, it is pretty good. Now, I wasn't, before and after his death, I wasn't the biggest King Von fan. I liked a lot of his music, but I wasn't like a hardcore fan. But I gotta say, just from my perspective, this could be a usual King Von album. If he would have lived on, this could be an album he could have released, which is a really good thing, because sometimes posthumous albums feel really unnatural and really forced. I feel like besides a pretty high amount of features, this project feels really King Von type. I gotta say, I don't really fuck with the more melodic songs on this album. I mean, My Fault, in my opinion, like the boogie feature is alright, but that King Von part, I feel like that song could have just been left off. Besides a couple other tracks like Had to Trust. But other than that, I feel like it's a pretty good project with pretty good features. I mean, the highlights would probably be 21 Savage, Lil Durk, and Fabio Foreign. Not saying that the others didn't do a good job as well. I mean, OMBP's, it was also a standout in my opinion. But overall, honestly, a really solid album. If you are a King Von fan, I think you can listen to it without having a huge fear of disappointment. I don't think it's anything outstandingly good. But I do think it's a good continuation of his project. And I gotta say, I'm happy that they continued using the album cover style from Welcome to O Block, because from the album covers he had, that one was my favorite. Now this one is my favorite. I feel like it looks really good. But that's besides the point. The production is pretty good as well. Sometimes a bit sounding a bit cheap. I feel like that was the problem on King Von albums before. So it's in my opinion, this album doesn't have any great flaws that the albums before this one didn't have. So I think it's a good posthumous album. Overall, I think it's a solid album. This is obviously just based off of my first listen. I will listen to it a couple times more to fully form my opinion. But I think you can enjoy this project. You can listen to this project without having the fear of ending up with the project like Bad Vibes Forever for XXXTentacion, for example, or other disappointing posthumous albums. With that being said, if you enjoy this, leave a like. If you fuck with my style of review and shit, go subscribe, and have a great one.
Remember back then, all them hoes ain't want me. Now I'm ballin', all them same hoes on me. Mama told me that this came with the money and the motherfucking fame, even though I feel the same. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now. I'm that nigga now.